All right, this week we're moving on in our little last section here for personal health. We're going to talk about protecting and taking care of your ears and your eyes. So you are going to be able to describe how to care for your eyes and ears and then explain how to protect your hearing. These are things that, people seem to take for granted. And once you lose like eyesight or hearing, it is difficult to get back unless you have glasses or hearing aids, but it's a lot easier to function without those things. And as you get older, these things also start to get worse, so protecting them while we're young so that we're not completely blind and deaf when we're old is a pretty good idea. Healthy eyes. This day and age, it's super important for us to take a break from screens, and even reading too much isn't good for your eyes. It causes a lot of strain, but especially those screens and having our phones and our laptops and our iPads and the TV so close is very bad for the eyes. So you should sit at least 2 feet away from the TV and or a computer screen. If you're in the dark, obviously there's options to turn brightnesses down, or there's like night mode on your phone. These things just really strain your eyes after a while. That's why we always say that little kids need to back up, because they like to stand right in front of the TV and their poor little eyes are still developing. So we want to keep those healthy. You should also read and watch TV in a well-lighted room to avoid eye strain. Again, sitting in like the dark isn't always the best idea. Wear safety goggles when you're handling dangerous tools or chemicals. So if you're in science class and you're handling dangerous chemicals, your teacher will probably give you goggles. Same thing when you're in wood shop. You're probably going to have goggles. If you work somewhere with dangerous tools or chemicals, you'll probably have goggles. This is to keep your eyes from getting hurt and damaged from something that would not be repairable. And you should obviously wear sunglasses to protect you against the harmful UV rays from the sun. We talked about that with our skin as well, but it's also important for our eyes. So use sunglasses whenever possible. I know I always have mine, even when we go out for gym, because after being out there all day, it hurts my eyeballs. Try to avoid rubbing and touching your eyes. This is just like when we tell you to wash your hands before you eat. If your hands have germs or dirt or whatever on them and you're touching your eyes, it's just an entrance to your body, so you can get sick that way. Something can go in your eye. Obviously, if you have something in your eye, your first reaction is going to be rub it or touch it. But we prefer that you rinse your eyes out with water and allow your tears to remove any foreign objects, so like an eyelash, just because our hands are probably the number one thing in our body that pick up bacteria on items, because we touch everything with our hands. Never ever share eye makeup or eye products. So like, oh, can I borrow your mascara? Yeah, here you go. You never know what that other person has. If they have pink eye or something, that's just going to be transmitted straight to you. So always use your own makeup and eye products. Never share. Same thing with like the hairbrushes for like lice and stuff. Just always use your own stuff. It's just a lot safer. And then you should get regular eye exams if you're like me and you wear contacts and you're blind as a bat. It's important that the eye doctor check them yearly so that you can update your prescription and not walk around with the wrong prescription, because then you're going to have more strain on your eyes. You're going to have to squint. It's not going to be good. They also check the back of your eyes to make sure that like your retina, which we'll talk about, is like still attached and stuff like that. If you have healthy eyes, it's good to still go and make sure that they're still healthy, but like I have astigmatism in my eye, which we'll talk about, and that puts me at risk for having a detached retina, which you don't want. So get those eye exams. Here, we're going to talk about the anatomy of the eye. Your sclera is a tough white outer coat that helps protect your eye. So this white outer area that isn't colored, that's your sclera. Then you have your cornea, which is a clear outer layer of the eyeball. This lets light in. So you can see down here, you have this cornea over the entire outside of the eye. And this is going to let the light in so that you can have vision and sight. The iris is the round colored part of the eye, and it controls the size of the pupil. So this part of your eye that's usually, brown or blue or green or hazel, what have you, it's going to control the size of the pupil. In the middle, that dark black spot is your pupil, and it has the ability to get bigger or smaller depending on how bright it is in a room. So it has the ability to let light enter the eye. First, you're going to go through your cornea, and then you're going to go in through your pupil. But the larger the pupil, the more light it lets enter. So if someone says your pupils are dilated, it could be because of the light in the room, or you just were in a dark classroom watching a movie and you walked out into the hallway. It could affect your pupils. We have the lens right back here. It focuses the light onto the retina, this right here. Your retina is a complex layer of nerve cells that absorb light rays and change them into electrical signals that are sent to the brain. We are going to learn about our nervous system and all of that, so you're going to understand a little bit more. But the retina is this yellow part. It holds the eye, and it's going to send it to our optic nerve, which carries electrical messages to the brain, where these messages are interpreted as images. My last word there got cut off, but it's images. So whatever our eye collects, it goes through the retina, which gets translated into, I see, Miss Getz's PowerPoint. Your optic nerve tells your brain what you're seeing and what you're reading. It's a very complex thing going on here for something that looks so simple. Vision problems, again, if you're like me and you're blind, you are either farsighted or nearsighted, and it's kind of the opposite of what you would think. So if you're farsighted, you have the ability to see objects at a distance, while objects that look close to you are blurry. So if you're farsighted, you can see far away. I think I'm both. I don't know. If you're nearsighted, you have the ability to see objects close to you, while distant objects look blurry. You're usually one or the other. Usually, you can either see things far away or you can see things really close to your face. For me, it has to be right up to my nose, or I cannot see it without my contacts or my glasses. I'm a very blind person. And then we have the astigmatism, which I was talking about. I have one in my right eyeball. It doesn't have to affect both eyes. I only have one on my right eye, and it's a misshaped cornea or lens that causes objects to look wavy or blurred. So I constantly feel like even though I have my contacts in, my right eye always has a little blur to it. No matter what contact I have, I've never been able to correct it. So while I can see, while I focus on objects or screens, there's this little tiny blur that is caused by my astigmatism. And that's just because I have a misshaped cornea. And again, that causes more likely for your retina to detach from your eye, which you really don't want to happen. So an eye doctor can also help determine if you need glasses. We usually test vision and hearing in school. Because I know when I was in second grade, I didn't even know that I needed glasses until they were like, can you read this bottom letter? And I was like, nope. And they were like, okay, we're going to refer that you go to see an eye doctor because, we're not eye doctors at school here, but if you're squinting at the board, a teacher might say like, hey, do you have glasses? I know a lot of you don't wear your glasses and you're supposed to, but we might, mention to the parents like, they have been having issues seeing the board in class, so they might need glasses. Then you go see an eye doctor and they're going to help you correct these problems. Again, my astigmatism was very hard to correct. I still have issues with it, so not everything is solvable, but you can definitely get help because I would not be able to see without my contacts. Glasses help the lens of the eye focus light on the retina. Same with contacts, so then you're able to see better. Otherwise, without them, everything looks pretty blurry. I will give you a break here, and I'll talk about healthy ears in a separate video so I don't run out of time.